Let's further learn from this sharp-witted personality from his life, career, and his interaction with mathematics. So, sir, why did you decide to be a professor? And what is your philosophy of teaching?
Huh. So actually, I enjoy teaching from the beginning. So actually, I am from a village. So the problem was that when I was there, I think I do not know now current situation. That time our village, I studied my primary schooling, that is from class 1 to class 4, from that Bengali medium, that our village school only. But there that school that time does not have any professor, that is teachers. So we had a beautiful culture at that time in that village, that those who is the good student, that senior student, generally teach that junior one. So when I was in class that 1 to 4, then I had one class teacher, and he's not a Panditji. He was just a class 9 or class 8 student, actually, standard student. So similarly, when I was become uh, that class 9th or 10th standard, then I also taught. And similarly, when I was the college student, then also I taught the juniors, and in this way actually, so I taught from the beginning. So in that way, that my base also becomes little bit good, and I also feel that okay, no, this is the profession I like most, and I prefer that. Okay, anyway, I will go for this job only. So even I did not expect that I will become a IIT faculty or faculty from some institute. That was not my dream, but I want to be I want to choose that line, actually, that profession, this profession, the teaching profession. And okay, it is fine that now I am here, which is the one of the good institute. But the teaching was my hobby, and it was from the longer period, actually. Even I can say from my class 7 or 8. So I enjoy a lot. And regarding the teaching philosophy, see, since I told you that I generally teach from my childhood, so I generally try to be frank and very friendly with the students, and still I maintain this one here as well. So if you know some of my students, then you can see that you can also ask them that I am very familiar with them. And sometimes also, see, that is not very easy, actually. Sometimes I also face some tough situation because of that friendly manner, but still I persist with that. But still I maintain that friendly.
Sir, I totally agree that choosing that profession which you love the most is the best thing. Um, so now I would like to know, sir, who is your inspiration to becoming a professor?
Uh, to become a professor or become something means in this profession.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, so first of all, okay, that is again, I will go with a story. So first of all, I want to mention that why I want to be a mathematician, not the physicist or something like that, biologist, right? So it is because, so it is start with one story. So as I told you that our village has a good culture. So during my childhood, that is when I was in class 2, and I had elder sister, so he was in class 4 that time, and we together with some more students of that village who are from class 1 to class 4 had one teacher who was in class 9, I think, at that time. So what happened one day? So we had a sufficient time to learn the other subject as well, because that guy has to manage each of the students. So we had sufficient time to learn the other subjects as well, or other mathematics as well. So what happened one day? So that teacher asked a problem to my elder sister, one mathematics problem, which is from class 4. But I was in class 2. But my elder sister could not able to solve that. But then I told that teacher that okay, I can solve it. But that time he was surprised that no, you are a second standard student. How can you solve that is a problem which is from class 4? But I persisted, no, I can solve. And then I show him the solution. And when I showed him that solution, he was totally surprised, and he actually awarded me by a word. Though that word is wrong, that is not a word by a sentence, but though that sentence is wrong, but still that was my first inspiration. So he told that in front of my mother, uh, that your son is very good in mathematics, so he will be a big famous mathematician like Swami Vivekananda. But I don't know, but probably he knows that Swami Vivekananda is not a mathematician. He is something more than that. He is an Indian monk and philosopher of Vedanta and yoga. Anyway, he gave that sentence. Even in being a class 2 student, I also did not realize. Even I also do not know who is Swami Vivekananda. I also know that okay, he is a famous person because we have a picture, but I do not know that who is actually he because I have not read his life before that. And but I that time I realized that no, I am good. Now my teacher uh, reward me like this way, so I will become a mathematician like him only. So that was my first inspiration to become a this. But I never thought that I will become a professor, as I told you, because when I was a school teacher, then I thought, first of all, okay, our school does not have any good teachers, does not have any teacher actually. So I will teach to my village one only. So that was my first dream. But then later, when I leave the school and joined college, then that dreams becomes a little bit go gone away. And then I thought, okay, no, then I have to first focus on my career, and then after that I changed everything. That changed my mind, and then I go for the higher study. And when I do that higher study, and I enjoy a lot, and then ultimately I become a professor. But that was not my first dream, and I never thought. So it just comes once by one. But my first dream was that to being a school teacher and to help that our village students.
So maybe there's a chance you will do that in future also.
Yeah, of course. Maybe after the retirement, and still, whenever I have some vacation. Now we do not have much vacation after doing job, but when I had long time vacation during my M.Sc and during my Ph.D, then I went my home, and then I generally taught all the students who are just do not have good background, and now also I help them as well.
So basically passing the torch or something you're doing. So, sir, what's the best thing about being a professor?
That is a good question actually. So what I like here in this field, that is respect. So in this field, you have lots of respect, and that is a highly professional job. But if you look at in terms of money, then that is not the way, because I remember that even when I was in IIT Kanpur, I asked one professor what is the salary of. So, but he got angry, and he just told me that time that if you look for money, then don't come to this profession. But I surprised at why. Because anyway, I just asked that one, but then I realized no, we should not ask that one. Maybe uh, it may hurt someone. But now I realize that right, in terms of money, that is not a uh, suitable one, because if someone looks for money, then better do something else. In terms of respect, you cannot compare with anyone. So this is a lots of respect here, and that most important thing here to becoming a professor in IIT. So that is the most important thing, and we can spend time with various type of students. So we have BTech, so those who are just kid. Then we have M.Sc, though we are little bit matured. Then we have Ph.D, though are matured enough and just look for their career. Then we have postdoc, which just our previous step. And when even we have seniors as well. So we can actually see the life. So we can see the whole life. We can always feel the whole life. So when I look back to my college days, I can look for that BTech students. I can spend some time with them, and when I some interact with them personally, then I also feel good. I also feel my that old golden days.
So now, coming to your work on research. So, sir, can you tell us on what areas of research are you working right now?
Right. So I generally work on algebraic topology. So this is the border area, but there are many portion of algebraic topology. So even if you look at that combinatorial topology, this is also a one branch of algebraic topology. So algebraic topology has many branches, and there is one branch called that discretization. And discretization is helpful because then you can use that topology in the other fields as well. So like some computer science or network, there are many places where you use that discretization. So, and there is one specific name called that. So it is called a crystallization theory. And I work on that. That is triangulation and crystallization theory. That is more on geometry of the subject of topology.
So what other opportunities do one have in this field?
Right. So other than teaching, so there are many research-oriented things which is we cannot say, uh, but that is totally research-oriented. Research-oriented means right. I can also see that. So suppose someone works on that artificial intelligence. So that is kind of engineering job, not a properly teaching. Even if you go for that robotics one, then also it is not a teaching profession exactly, because they also prepare robots, and there are many things actually. Even that if you look at that washing machine, this is also one kind of robot which actually wash our clothes, right? So similarly, there are many kind of robots nowadays is also available in the internet. So you can clean your whole house by giving some commands there. So this is kind of robotics, and there are many types of artificial intelligence, and are now huge applications now, those fields. But those are research oriented. So I feel that right now, which my area, that is discrete kind of topology, which is called that combinatorial topology. So this topic has huge application in those fields, even in the network science or network theory.
So now I would like to know, sir, what are your future plans regarding your research? So what problems you would like to explore in the future?
Right. So since this is totally pure mathematics, first of all, when I was a PhD student, I never found any application to the real world. So I always search that, because when which we are doing research, so we are just finding some lower bound, some upper bound, something like that. But I do not know, even I did not know. So what is that applications in real life? So that why that is useful. But now that after coming here also, even now we have that many engineering colleagues, and now we are talking and discussing with those. And then now we are realizing, that is at least I am realizing, that no, this topic has a huge application in the other fields, because those colleagues also discuss a lots of topology with me. And when I ask them why do we need that, now they simply reply that no, we need that. For an example, suppose in that robotics, even I have many friends also who is working on robotics. It is not only for the academic one, it is from the other one, so who prepare robots. Now they also need robotics, and they also ask some question related to topology. But when I ask them, then why do you need that concept of topology? Because I do not see any application of that. Then they told me, no, it has some applications. For an example, see, suppose you have a robot. Now, what about the movement of the robot? See, in our hand, we can round shape, we can do any shape, right? So we can move our hand in any shape. We can move our head in any shape because we have brain. But robot does not have any brain. So what we have to do, we have to give them commands. Now what they do, so if suppose if a robot, if we want them to move like this way, so they cannot move in that continuously. So we have to give command so that we they will discretize that path. Suppose this is the path, they have to discretize that path, and they give the commands, and they can discretize in such a way so that this path will be smaller. Then it looks like a continuous thing. So if you look at a robot who are working, you can see that they are not walking like us, right? They can move their leg like this. Even we can feel that when we see some robotic dance some right? So these are the things, so where they uses that topology. That's mean they are that moving one. So when we have to move like this way, they can identify circle because that circle has some formula, but they cannot identify any arbitrary path which they have to go. So now there are robots also. If you give them just command, and if you put some water, now you just keep it on a floor. Now that robot will clean all of your floor, and that robot will not leave anything. So he any portion that robot will clean. But how it is possible? Because first of all, in terms of their ray, they just map all of this the floor, and then they discretize that floor. So in which way they have to go so that they can cover each places, and they should not leave any place. And in this way, they just change their little shape a little bit, and they do everything. So in this way, they use something of that topology kind of thing. Now, another application in the network theory. Now we have internet server. So there are many type of server, right? Even we have some web page. Sometimes we can see that some web page is not working because of huge load. Now there are how they maintain, actually they have many different server in many places, and with that servers they are just giving that commands, and in the whole world that internet or some web page is working, or some web page kind of thing. For an example, that YouTube or ESPN Click Info like that. But the problem is that sometimes it may happen that even I am very actually uh, like to watching cricket. So I know that when that Sachin give his first 200, then that ESPN cricket was totally just damaged that side. So it was not opening. And there are many things. So when that they actually feel that huge load, that time it is not working properly. So that one, that is by using the topology, you can find, if you have network, you can find that how many holes are there and how this network is working. And depending on then you can say that what is the maximum load it can take, and what are the server which even is down, and still that whole server will working because they can take help from the other server. So there are many approaches in the network theory in that direction. For an example, previously people uses graph to use that one, but graph is not much useful because if you have graph, you can compare only between 2 points. But suppose you have exactly 3 points and 3 points are connected together, then graph is not much helpful. In that way, you need some triangles, because now if you fill the triangle, that's mean that three has some attachment. And if you fill only that hollow triangle, that's mean that those three guys does not have any attachment or some collaboration, but they are, if you take pairwise, then they have something. So in this way, you can fill by triangle, you can fill by tetrahedra. So in this way, you will get something kind of, it is called that simplicial complex in our field, that is topology. And then you can find that location, that is you can find that location of holes by using homology, and that Betty number, it is something called. So in this way, that in the network theory, even in that robotics, as I said, it has a huge applications of topology. Now which now I can feel, even when I was a PhD student, even when I was postdoc, then I did not feel that it has that much applications. So now when we are collaborating and discussing with some colleagues from different fields, now I am realizing, and probably I will learn more. Even from the computer sections, even when we talk with them, they also use that space. That is that simplicial complex. Because what computer, see, computer knows only commands. And in our, so they, if they want to do, if they want to work something on a space, then they have to discretize something, and then only then they can put the data in a computer. And in that case again, they have to discretize a space, and they have to use the topology. Yes.
So, sir, we have seen there are geometrical ideas working in topology. So, sir, can you give us some brief idea what's the connection between topology and geometry?
Yeah, that is a good one actually. So in fact, so what is geometry? So geometry is that you can say it is the most older topics in mathematics. Even if you look at that, even in India, it has many applications. Even if you uh, uh, that historical that places and many palaces, then you can see that they uses a lots of geometry there. So in India, even that geometry was very high. That the people knew very high level geometry. And what is the geometry? So in geometry now everything is become already known. So there is nothing left. So now what people do, now they use that topology in geometry. And also now also without geometry you cannot visualize or you cannot do something in topology as well. So in terms of that you can say that topology and geometry like a Ram Lakshman. So one cannot live without others. For an example, if you want to read or if you want to study topology, then you need the concept of geometry, and similarly the vice versa as well. So if you want to learn geometry, so you need topology. So actually geometry actually concerned about the spaces and they concerned about the shape, distance, size and positions in this. And what topology actually? The topology is worried about that deformation. So how one space can deform to another space. So these two are very interlinked, even which I said that manifold and the dimension, this thing comes from the geometry only. So this is the concept of geometry. So now both topics are very similar actually. So you cannot separate, distinguish both them actually. So they both are almost similar. Even if you the now we have topic that is, even if you look at that my topic more generally, my topic is geometry and topology. And then the next part is algebraic topology. If you say that more specific, then it is combinatorial topology. That's mean discretization of topology. But the main border area after mathematics, it is called topology and geometry. So both topics are very interlinked.
Okay, so sir, your profile is very unique in the sense that you have attended many conferences and workshops in India and mostly abroad. So, what is the procedure to get selected in them? Please guide us.
Okay, so first of all, right. So in any conference, so when they organize a conference, especially in the foreign, so they have some fund in the sense that, and they also some instruction to use that fund. For an example, suppose they have some crore rupee or some dollar USD, then what they do, so they keep some reservation, say maybe 20% from the scholar who just start their PhD and maybe within 2 years. And they keep another say 30% or 40% for the students who are PhD and almost finished that. And also they keep some money for who completed their PhD but not joining job, and also they keep some money for the faculty as well. So in this way they divide it, and then they choose the best person who applied there. They choose the best person there. For an example, I got chance actually many places during my PhD because I was lucky to I had many papers at the beginning. So that does not mean that I was good. It was just I was the lucky, because it depends that when you work on a problem, it is depending on luck, because those who actually suppose selected here in IIT Delhi, all the PhD scholars are almost same. So there is no distinction between them. Even when I was there, so all the students were same. But I was lucky that I had paper early, so that when I applied and they feel that okay, no, I falls into that 10% or 20% category, and I got that chance. So generally they look at the resume. So if it is a good resume, and then they prefer that one. And sometimes it may happen that I got and some faculty did not get, and even it may happen that now say you apply and I apply and you got that fellowship, and but I do not, I am not getting that. It might happen because they have very particular types of partitions, and nowadays they also encourage the female candidate as well. They have some portion for the female candidate as well. So generally they divide in this way. and sometimes they ask recommendation from the other faculty or their supervisors as well. And if that is good, and if resume is good, resume is the previous performance marks, etc. And suppose if someone has a paper, so that is most important when they are applying there, then it is a good chance to select there. So they generally suppose that say 20% category is who are joining PhD and between the 2 years period. And if that 2 years period, then they compare with them only. So if someone has good number of paper during that period, then he or she will get selected there. So in this way, generally they prefer. And I was lucky. I will say that it is the better word that I was lucky that everywhere when I am applying, maybe who was the good, even in India, in my field, who did not apply there. So they prefer me. It might happen as well. So in that case, I got chances in many places, and they also try to cover that developing country as well. When you are applying for a workshop in abroad, they also prefer that developing countries. That's mean if I apply and from some other people apply from some good big countries which is already developed, then they will, if the resume is almost same, then they will prefer that developing country.
Okay, so this was really informative. It will really help students to go for these conferences and workshops. So, sir, coming to next question, we know that mathematical anxiety is quite common among students regarding maths. So, like they say, numbers, oh, I hate numbers and all. So, sir, what do you think? What role a teacher can play in breaking the myth that maths is kind of very difficult subject?
Right. That is a good thing. So what that is the reason I generally believe that a teacher should be friendly to the students, because see, if a student is if he if the student does not get the belief from the faculty, then generally they will little bit afraid to approach the faculty. But I think one faculty's role should be he should be very friendly, and I also try to be that one as well. And also that is one most important part. So there are many students, especially from the BTech, who are uh, afraid of this one, and maybe they just lose their now control of their mind because they are totally disturbed, and they need some kind of interactive sessions with the teachers or someone so that they can give them some beliefs. Because of that, sometimes we have seen that in many not only IITs, in many engineering field also we can see the suicide cases as well. Even someone has good marks, still they may deserve, feel that they deserve more, but they are not getting that one. So that is that problems. And here we faculty feel that problem is that to identify that student, those who is facing that one. See, if we can identify that student, then it is very easy to tackle. Then just call him or her, then make a interactive session. And I have already seen that because I also had some interactive session. I could identify few students from, especially from BTech. I did not feel this one from the M.Sc batch, but I felt this one from the BTech batch, and I also talk with some students, and they were totally disturbed. And then when I talk with them and give them belief and told them that just enjoy here, it is your time to enjoy your life. So take this course, and you should enjoy the course. You should not take it as a burden. But when we talk with them, and they also feel happy, and they also said that, okay, thanks sir, because of you I also now get some little bit motivated, and I also now feel that no, I also can do. So I have feel that this is a problem. It is maybe problem for the age, because nowadays it is lots of competition, lots of pressure, and because of that, because they are just kids, so they cannot take that much load. So I think a teacher's role should be to try to identify students. Once they are identified, then one can easily take care of that.
Okay, so sir means the fear is not of the subject but of asking the doubts.
Right.
So, sir, you got rank 1 many times in various competitive examinations like GATE and NET. So, what was your strategy towards these exams?
Right. So what I actually believe that one. So for an example, say NET or GATE especially in maths. So first of all, one should have a good knowledge on subjects. Now obviously, no one is perfect. Even I was not. Even I was not good in every subjects. So what I did actually, what I can say, maybe it not be a best one, but still which I approach that I can share. So I actually looking at the syllabus, I divided all the topics into two parts, a group A and group B. So group A was the topics which I like most and I am strong on that. And group B was the topics where I was not that good. So what I did, I have a suppose four or maybe five subjects in the group A. Maybe so in my case it was analysis, topology, abstract algebra, linear algebra, and complex analysis. Okay, so these are the subjects, and group B has the other one, that is that including that partial differential equation, ordinary differential equation, numeric analysis, LPP, and this kind of subjects. So for me it was my group B, and for me it was my that was my group A. So what I did, I read that group A, every subject of group A very clearly, and I had a good concept. I have I had confident on that. So any questions in NET or GATE, if comes from those topics at group A, surely I can solve that. So I had that much confidence. So I work on that. And for the group B, I just read in a formulative way. That's mean I did not go through the ideas and theories, and I just recall some formulas. So if I know the formulas, then I can solve some problems. So I was confident that okay, I can solve maybe one or two problems from each topic, but not all. So I keep in this way only. And then I also practiced all the previous year's questions, because that time, so when I gave these exams, then nowadays many competitive books are available and also short book are available, but I did not go through that because I actually that was not available during my time. So I actually gone through that previous year questions, but I did not solve the questions. What I did, I first read these topics, that group A and group B. Then what I did, suppose I was in 2010 and 11, I think. Then what I did, I start from the beginning, say 2000, and I take that question paper and I give the exams by my own. So I take 3 hours and I give the exams by my own, and I fixed the time. So I have seen that many disturbance in library as well in during the daytime. So I prefer to time night so that no can disturb me. So say 9 to 12. So there was a less crowded place at that time. So I prefer that slot and I gave exams during only that 9 to 10. So I did not take any extra time. I did not take anything else. So like exam only, I give those exams, and I then there are solutions also available. Solutions, not solution, that answer key. And then I just correct that answer key, what marks I can score. And then I realized that after this trick, that is group A and group B and reading, so I feel that okay, no, I am getting that for in GATE, I am getting sometimes 40 marks, sometimes I was getting 50, and one exam I also got 80, 85 or something like that. And my minimum marks was 40 in GATE. So then I realized that no, even if I can score 40, still I will have a good rank, at least a two double digit score, double digit rank. So I was quite happy then according regarding my preparation, and also I follow the same thing for NET as well. Now when I give the gate, that is the interesting thing. So I also answered. I also believe that okay, answered as much as possible. I did not care about that negative marking, and I also was confident that whatever I am doing, that is correct one. So I did not uh, choose any question randomly. So which I answered, I was that time I was confident that that is correct. So during GATE I answered 85 out of 100, and 85 that is correctly. So I believe that that 85 is a correct answer. But unfortunately, it is some, you can say that brain fade or something. So you always miss some marks. No one, as I told you, that no one is perfect. Now, when I come to the exams, and then I believe that okay, I got 85, I answered 85, and I will get 85 marks. But when I discuss with my friends, classmates, and then I saw that no, this question got wrong, this question got wrong, and out of this, around 30 marks got actually deducted. And finally, my marks, I counted marks is around some marks 50 to 60. I do not remember exact. It is near 60, but not above 60. So it was around 30 marks got. Then I thought, okay, anyway, even with this one also, I will get around at least less than 20 rank, because I know that previous year which students, those students got that top 10, what was the marks. And finally I got that something score more than around 55, and with that score score I got rank 1. And similarly net as well, that similar trick, I also answered 200, because this is a 200 marks questions. But in GATE the problem was that you have to answer it all, so there is no extra question. But in net there are many extra questions are there. So again I answered whole 100, whole 200, and again I was confident that I will get 200. But again when I checked with others, then again I got some again 30 marks less, and finally I come with little less than 170. And I got top rank 1. And that time, that was the good thing was, that time we can see that other marks as well. In nets I got that one, and I checked with the second position one, a second position, those the student who scored rank 2, and there was a 10 marks difference between me and the second one.
Oh, so this was really, really informative, and it's really going to help to all net and gate aspirants. So, sir, this next question, coming to next question, we see many students join M.Sc and they're willing to do their Ph.D, but they drop from PhD because of their some personal reasons, be it economical or financial ones. So, sir, what's your suggestion for those students? Like it's a very long process. They have to devote a long period of time to
See,
PhD.
right. But I do not believe that someone not doing PhD because of that financial reason. That is not true. Because if you are joining for a PhD, then you are getting a fellowship, which is actually huge. If your lifestyle is not that standard, or like us, even I can survive easily with that money, which scholarship we are getting now, because now it is 31. Now if someone stays outside, then with HRA it is around 40,000. That is enough actually. Even if you look at some job people, even you can, if you can look at some engineers also who are getting that less salary of that one. Even I also know few engineers from my friends actually, who are getting that less salary from that one, and her it is also not taxable. So that is that huge money actually. If they have that average lifestyle, then it is fine. But which I feel that is a long procedure. That is a 5 years, and many people, many students has some problems, and they also prefer that okay, I can take suppose some, that at the time of PhD, during PhD, they also applied for some job, and they get a job, then they generally leave PhD. That is one thing. And another thing, that is a very long procedure, and they also believe that okay, no, we cannot, so just give up of that one. So no, not because of partial that financial reason, sometimes maybe partial reasons as well. And obviously it takes time, because see, if you are a boy, say means male, then if you want to marry, if you want looking for a say girl, then nobody will give you their daughter if you are not doing a job, right? So that's when where, if you want to marry, then this is not a possibility. And again, for a girls also a similar problem. If somebody, I have seen many students actually, so who are from a good academic, good background, and they have got some so-called good riste, and then they just leave the PhD and join there. So these are the also problems, and in that case, okay, it is fine. I do not see anything is wrong. If someone want to focus on their life, um, then it is all totally fine. But still, it is a longer procedure. As a faculty and even as a student, I never suggest anyone leave PhD, because if you have a PhD, then you will have a lots of opportunities in future. Maybe one can do the same job after the PhD, but still they have the time or they have some options to leave that job and to go for some higher job. And always students will have more options if they do PhD. And even if they join that job, still for that promotions purpose or some other purpose, they can use their PhD degree. And also in that work field also, if someone has the PhD degree, it they they can earn some extra respect from others, because now he or she becomes doctor. He can write. It is not a Mr. and that name. It is some doctor and that name. So that is a big respect. So that I feel that one, if they join PhD and they got PhD, then they should continue the PhD. And that is a bad mentality in our, especially in India. For an example, everyone is looking for a job, and even even for the marriage purpose also, they do not look at the career and what they can do. They always look for that what is the current situation. Even when the I was doing my PhD, still also I have seen that many actually, even not for me, even for the others, friends also, I have seen that because of this, so no one so agreed to give their daughter for the marriage. So that is a huge problem actually. So they always prefer, maybe any government job is fine, but not that PhD one. So that is a typical mentality of our Indian culture, but we cannot do anything. We have to come up with those. And I always prefer, okay, if you have if you have any kind of problem, this kind of problem, you should go for PhD, though it is a long procedure, but you can manage. And after PhD, you will have a lots of option. You can build your career accordingly. So that is very important thing.
Expect from your students who want to do PhD under you?
Yes, I of course now currently I have three students. One, yeah, even when they joined me, that time I also see, as I told you, so I am very friendly. So I also discussed with them. So what is your plan? Plan means not only future plans, plan about everything. So even when I joined my PhD, then also my supervisor asked me, what is your total plan? Then I told that, okay, now this is my plan. Now he said, no, that is, I am not asking that plan. I am asking about whole life plan. So when you want to marry, when you want to do job, and what are the aim? Then I told that no, I do not have any hurry. So I will go for my higher study. I will do PhD. I will do postdoc, and then what is the best possible job I can take? I will take that one only. So I will go for the high one. Then he agreed. Okay, he was happy, and I can see that the culture of ISC, every student go for that one only. And here also, and I also follow that similar trick here as well. So whenever some students wants to join with me or wanted to work with me, I also discussed with them, and they also agreed that no, after the PhD they will go for postdoc, and even and between that PhD and postdoc also, if they want to marry, they can. That is not a problem, because that is also a part of life. But because of that one, they should not leave that PhD or postdoc. So I told them that if you once finish your postdoc, then you are eligible to for any IIT. Then you have many options. So you have IIT, you have NIT, triple IT, universities, almost every institute you have options. But if you don't do postdoc, then IIT and NIT almost chances nil, and then only universities and Maybe some new NITs have only options. So it is up to you. So you have to now decide, but you have to decide now. So what I asked them, so you have to decide now and tell me, and according to that I will approach. And everybody, so all the three students agreed to that one, that procedure, which I followed. That they will spend time PhD. It will take around 5 years. Then again they will do their postdoc. It will take another 3 years. So total 8 years thing, and then they can go for job.
So now you was talking about doing postdoc from US. So now there are many students who wants to do their PhD from abroad. So sir, can you suggest some good universities so they can apply their postdoc for PhD?
Right, for the PhD, if you look at that USA, so they have some very easy path actually. Very easy path means very expensive but easy. Easy means that procedure is easy. So what? So they have to appear for the GRE, and they have to means uh, when keep a good score in GRE, and with the help of that GRE, they can apply for the institute. So this is that procedure is very simple, but it is expensive because for GRE you need lots of money, and also for applying each universities you need some 10,000 rupees or something like that. So this is some kind of, maybe not huge money for all, but maybe from the middle class family this is a huge money, and even they need some around 50,000 to 1 lakh for that exams, that GRE exams. So again, maybe this may not be very big for all, but still it might be expensive for the middle class family. So if one can come up with this one, and with the very good get that is GRE score, then they can apply for the universities. And for that, when they apply for the universities, they need some recommendation from their teachers. For an example, if they are doing some course under me or some M.Sc project under me, then I can write that. So similarly other faculty can write that. So they need 2 or 3 recommendations, and first of all they need a good score in G. That is the first priority, and then they need also have to maintain a good CGPA in IIT as well, M.Sc, and also they need a good recommendation. So these are the 3 things, then they can apply. And obviously, almost if they get a good so now regarding the good institute, that is very easy to find, because if you search internet top 10 universities in USA or top 50 universities, you will always get that one. So which I prefer. So do not just go for foreign. If you get a good university in foreign, which is maybe top 50 universities in the world, then only you should go for this. Otherwise, it is better to do PhD in India. But if you are getting top 50 universities in USA, then you can go for it. And every university is as good in pure and applied both, even as IIT Delhi as well. Because now every university, even IITs, maintain some diversity in the sense that they hire faculties from each of the topics. So in every IITs and every universities foreign also, you will find that there are many faculties from the other fields as well.
Okay, so I think that will be beneficial for those who want to go abroad for further studies. So, sir, what would you like to suggest to students who want to get SERB Indo-US fellowship?
Right. So this is again. So for the postdoc, again, ACRB fellowship was from India only. So that was the procedure. That again, for they look for the CV only. So CB means that whatever your achievement it is. So they will compare with, you have to apply for against, when there are actually in each year they open some advertisement, you have to apply against that, and they actually shortlist in terms of number of papers and quality of journals and etc. That's when you just look at your CV, and there is no interview process for that one. Now if they like that, okay, no, if you are eligible for this one, but then they can actually shortlist you for this. But that procedure is look simple, but in the sense that getting this fellowship is not that easy. because many students all over India applied for that one, those who had good CV or good paper. But for an example, for our time, from each topic, only 50 students were selected from each topic. And from mathematics, there was only 2 students. And out of that 2 students, I was one, and another one was from IIT Kanpur, but he was a faculty. He also wanted to spend some time because he was a new faculty. So that faculty got that one, and I got that one. And similarly, in physics also sometimes 2 or 3. Some engineering they take many students. So that is a not a easiest one, but that is a lucky, you can say that in that case as well. Because when the student is applying, then we do not know that what are the other competitors, right? So it may happen that some batch has good competitors, some batch has less number of competitors. It depends on the batch, obviously. So I got that one. Again, maybe we can say that luckily I got that and I visited there. But everyone, so everywhere you must need something of luck as well. Not talent is not only the sufficient thing. But there are many. So this is not that Indo-US, but there are many fellowship for postdoc. So this is that one Indian fellowship. But for the postdoc, there are many fellowship from the abroad as well. For an example, there is a fellowship from only in the Israel. They opens up a fellowship only for Indian and Chinese students. Again, that Indian government has some portion of that one. That is some. They also sponsor few part of that. Now, similarly, for other universities also have many faculty, many postdoc position. So it is not only few. So there are many types of positions. One have to apply for that. And if someone has good PhD, that is a good number of papers, definitely they will get. Even from our IIT Delhi also, we have seen many people from each batch goes for after completing their PhD, goes to the abroad for doing their uh, postdoc. So there are many. So it is not only that one have to apply for that SERB only, but there are many applications are there. Even someone if got that Inspire one, and if they want to stay India, then it is also very good. So Inspire is also not very easiest one. So in 1 year they approach, they generally made that advertisement, and they select around 5 students all over the India for mathematics.
So this was again very informative. We got to know about many things about fellowship. So now coming to a personal question. So what is your what and who is your support system during your highs and lows, like all your journey?
Yes, so obviously, first of all, I thanks my mother for this one because see, as we are from village and he also face many tough situation in her life. So she always wanted that I should I should be someone. That is, I should be some known people or something like that. But she has a big dream for me, and I also got inspired for that one. Okay, my mother wants that, so I want to do this one. But when I go for my masters, and after that maybe, and after that she does not know anything, right? And that was a big for her. So he assumed that okay, no, now my son got this. Now she got satisfied actually. So when I got my masters from IIT Kanpur and when I got my PhD, and then that inspiration comes from my wife actually. So now she also in the academic field, and now she also inspired me to not give up. Even when I told you that I also have a tough situation, not tough situation I can say, but still I was also that fear that I will get a job or not. What should I do? Shall I continue with postdoc? If I continue with postdoc, then what are my chance? Because we always see that no, now competition is low and that competition is getting higher and higher. Now that was the fear that okay, if I wait 1 year, then maybe my competition will be more in the next future. And also I believe that okay, that friends are getting already got job, and that place now maybe full. then I will not get anywhere. So this kind of fear I had, but my wife always support me at that situation. She just told me that okay, you just go for your higher one, and definitely will get that. I have believe in you on you. So definitely, and after that I got. So I also thanks my wife for that one. So I got that inspiration from my mother mainly in my during my childhood, and after that PhD I got this from my wife.
Okay, so sir, this brings us to the end of this event. So anything you would like
Okay,
to add on?
it was a great pleasure to share my experiences and share my life with all of you. Thank you so much.
So sir, we had a very inspiring conversation about how a boy from a village turned his teaching hobby into a profession. So we are delighted to see your passion for these topics and see you're still down to earth and also such a friendly nature you have towards the students. So you gave us the guidance to get a scholarship and preparing for competitive exams, which I feel which will help students a lot. We want to thank you for your time and suggestions.
Thank you.